Hey, this is Carl, and today we're going to do something we've never done in the channel before, and that's we're going to unbox a prototype. So stay tuned. Okay, so like I said, we're going to unbox a prototype today. I do have a production sample of this prototype, so this is not going to be your typical review of the prototype, but we are going to compare this prototype to the production sample. So with that said, let's start the unboxing. I did not buy the prototype from the studio itself. I bought it from a collector. So he sold it to me because I guess he doesn't want it anymore. And the price was fairly cheap, so that's why I decided to buy it. And this is actually a Wolverine statue. Okay, so it's in white styro, and I do need to remove that, which is sad. I really hate white styro because it's very messy. Anyway, you see why I hate white styro, because it's very messy.
I hated it.
And I have to clean that up after. So I can definitely say the packaging kinda sucks. It's not as well done as the production sample for sure. So let's look for the base first. So this prototype is, by the way, painted by SSol Yu. I know SSol scammed a lot of you guys, and I'm really sorry for that. It's just that, you know, this was painted by him. So this is actually a Cruel Wolf Yellow Wolverine. So this is the prototype. So we have the base here. It's very, very similar, but painted better. There are like tons of white styro. I need to vacuum this later. Oh, it also has this wood thing that will go here on the front. Okay. And we have Wolverine, so I'm just gonna get him. Okay, so we have Wolverine here. I think the paint is very, very similar to the production one. We'll check that out later once we put them side by side. So his left foot does have a key and peg and should just be inserted easily. Going back to the first layer. Okay, so we have a bunch of plastic claws here. So the production one does have metal claws, so these are plastic one. It's either, yeah, it's definitely plastic. Okay, so we have one of his hand, the right hand here. It's on a closed fist pose without the claws. Let's try and assemble those. Okay, so that was fairly easy. The paint on the claws does look like that it's real metal though, which is really cool. Okay, so we have his left arm, and the shoulder pads is actually built in. I'm not sure if that was the case with the production one. I believe that it is. Okay, so we have the left hand here on a closed fist pose again. So I'm gonna install the claws real quick. The claws are a bit loose. Maybe you need to add a tack there to keep them together. So we have a left hand here on an open hand kind of pose. So we have here the left arm without the shoulder pad, similar to the production one, and not going to use this. And we have the right side of the arm here without the shoulder pads again. Okay, so now we have the right arm here with the shoulder pad. So this one is what I'm going to use. And we're going to install the right hand. There you go. Oh, we do have some metal claws here. So we do have metal claws here now. You can hear? Definitely metal. So here is the metal one, and here is the plastic one. And we have another set of metal claws, which I'll be checking out later. Okay, so we have the first portrait here. This is the one with the shorter ears, our cow. Very nice. I think I like the paint here better, definitely, than the production one. The head doesn't fit. Okay, so the styro was preventing the head from going in. Okay, so the head definitely does not go in. Anyway, I'll check that out later. Okay, so we have the another portrait. Still a mask portrait, and the ears or the cowl is a bit longer here. And hopefully this will fit, and it still won't. So as you can see, the head doesn't go in. Yeah, anyway. Let's check out the last portrait. So we have the mask portrait here. The paint is very similar to the production one, as I can remember. And hopefully this fits. It kind of fits way better than the other one. His neck is quite long though, which is really weird, and it looks bad. Okay, so that's the last item in the box. Let's try and assemble him with the mask portrait. We're gonna try the shorter cowl. Yeah, so it definitely does not fit. So I think I need to send it to a different painter to have it fixed. Okay, so we're going to compare him next with the production sample. Okay, so before we start the comparison between the prototype and the production unit of this Wolverine, please write down below in the comments on which you think is the prototype or the production unit, either the one on my left or the one on my right. So with that said, I'm gonna say which one is the prototype now and the production. This guy is the prototype, while this one is the production sample. Looking at the base, you could definitely tell that the prototype is superior. I think it's like 5 to 10% better than the production unit. There is some paints that is not in the production unit, like the base. There is some wet or gloss effect on some parts of the base, which was not featured or included in the production sample. Maybe the factory thought that it was too much work to do and it's not that noticeable. But if you have both of them in front of you like I do now, it is noticeable, but it's not really a big deal. The next parts will be the wood or the ground. All I can say is anything that's on the base, the prototype is definitely better. There's a lot more shading going on. There's a lot more details or textures, if that makes any sense. But the base is definitely better, but not that much. Maybe just like 5 to 10%, like I said. Next is going to Wolverine himself. I would say this is like a carbon copy, like it's 1:1. It's like a clone. The paint is definitely very similar. For the yellows, the blues, the blacks, and the red, there's definitely no difference at all. Maybe the prototype is just painted a little better in terms of it's within the line. It did not go into the other parts of his body. And as for the skin tone, I would say that also the prototype is a little bit better. It feels like his skin is more smooth, it's more lifelike. It's more natural looking, but the production sample is actually pretty good as well. It's just a bit darker, but it feels like it's a statue and it's not lifelike, like I said. But it's still pretty good, so there's definitely no problem there. And as you can remember, the claws on the prototype were not installed in his arm, unlike the ones on the production. That is because the prototype came with the plastic claws, and the metal claws was just sent to the original owner of the prototype after a few months, I guess. Now I've super glued the claws to his hand, so they're already fixed now. I'm never gonna use the plastic ones anyway. And going to the portrait, the paint is actually pretty good on both portraits. Maybe the prototype is just like 5% better, but to me it's very small and it doesn't even matter. However, the portraits on the production sample is a bit bigger than the prototype, and all of the portraits for the prototype doesn't go into the statue. The keyhole on all of their portraits is smaller than the key on the body. However, this unmasked portrait, you can actually force it in, but it's a very tight. It just depends on you if you want to force it. But the masked portraits doesn't go in. So I have to sand this later when I have the time. However, the good thing is I can use the production unit's heads on the prototype and it fits pretty good. So what will happen now is that I am going to use this portrait with the bigger cowl on the production one. Oh, wait, on the prototype, like this. And I'm going to use the one with the smaller cowl on the production unit. And I'm going to send this to a professional painter. So I'm going to convert this guy to a first appearance of Wolverine. So I'm hoping that he can sculpt a cuter or smaller shoulder pads for the first appearance. I'm also hoping that he can do a small mod on the face so Wolverine can have the whiskers, same as the ones on the comics. So I would say the production unit is like 90% of the prototype, which is really good. I mean, this Wolverine actually came from a pretty good and well-known factory, so I guess there's no question there. And yeah, that's it for me. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. This is Carl, and see you in the next one.